नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 19, in verse 100. So we are in section 26-42, where Lord Brahma is going to rest, right? Today is a very big auspicious Gaur Purnima, and very happy the conscious God from the birth. And today is the very unique occurrence after 540 years. There is Chandragrahan on the day of Lord Purnima. So the exact day, the appearance day of the coming out of this. Not the exact condition. So a lot of things are being changed because today the darshan will be ready because they are supposed to take part after Grahan in temple, and then after that there is Abhishek in the temple, and after that there is Katha in the temple. So a lot of temple timetable is changed.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, your voice is breaking and it's not very clear.
You cannot go outside during the Grahan time, but this can be used for spiritual activities. Once again, very happy Lord Purnima to all the devotees. So this can be the experience. तं दृष्ट्वा शतवन्यसंहितं विचक्षुत्प्रेक्ष असैरं रसम् निवारयाम् असुरहोमहामते न युज्यते प्राण्यत्वरा प्रचोदिता.
When the priests and all the others saw Maharaj Prithu very angry and prepared to kill Indra, they requested him, O great soul, do not kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra. Purport. Animal killing is intended for different purposes. It tests the proper pronunciation of Vedic mantras, and an animal being put into the sacrificial fire should come out with a new life. No one should ever be killed in a sacrifice meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. How then could Indra be killed when he is actually worshipped in the yajna and accepted as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Therefore, the priest requested King Prithu not to kill him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you're not audible.
you do not kill him. For only sacrificial animals can kill sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra. The purpose Srila Prabhupada explains the animal killing is intended for different purpose, and that is not the purpose. That is not the purpose is not to eat the animal. And we have seen no one should, Prabhupada writes, no one should ever be killed in a sacrifice meal or Krishna, not Vishnu. Okay. How then Indra can be killed? He is such a great personality. Therefore, priests requested king not to kill the sacrifice. So, Prithu Maharaj became very, very angry. And here in this case, what has happened is, they are forbidding Maharaj Prithu to take any action on Indra, king himself. Text 28. Vayamvartvantanihardhanashanam Hayamahe Svatsyavasahatatvisham Hayatayamopa Ahairadantaram Prasayya Rajan Jovamate Hitam. Translation.
Translation: Dear King, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic.
Continue, Mataji.
Yes, we shall call him by Vedic mantras which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. Purport: by chanting the Vedic mantras properly in a sacrifice, one can perform many wonderful things. In Kali Yuga, however, there are no qualified Brahmanas who can chant the mantras properly. Consequently, no attempt should be made to perform such big sacrifices. In this age, the only sacrifice recommended is the Sankirtana movement. Hare Krishna.
So, Brahmana said, Indra's power is already diminished. The aura of Indra is diminished. Why? Because he has performed the adharma activity and therefore he is Hataprabha. Right. So, Shina Ujataha, Hataprabha. His power is already diminished. And therefore, we can very easily call him and he will surely come. So this is the power. They say that we will use the mantras which are never used before, and we will call him and put him into the fire. And the purport Srila Prabhupada explains, by chanting the Vedic mantras properly in a sacrifice, one can perform many wonderful things. Right? So this is the potency of chanting the Vedic mantras. Now Vedic mantras are available, but the Brahmanas who have that purity to chant that mantra, so they are not available. And therefore mantra will not have their own intended result. Right? And therefore Kali Yuga only recommended sacrifice is Yagyai Sankirtanasvayai Yajanti Sunedataha. Text 29. Ityamantrakratum patim Vidurasya Trukhattan Juhatapyetya Swayambhu Pratyat Shedata. Translation.
My dear Vidura, after giving the king this advice, the priest who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation in the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice.
Yeah. My dear Vidura, here our Maitreya Muni says, after giving the king this advice, priests who had engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra. They began to chant the mantras, and when they were about to put the oblations in the fire, that is the completion of the mantra, Lord Brahma, he appeared on the scene and forbade them to perform the sacrifice. So very, very critical situation. They were about to put the oblation, but Lord Brahma appeared there. Text 30. Navadyo bhavata mitra yatyatnyo bhagavan tanu yam jidani tata yatnena yatya ishta tanavasura. Translation.
Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performance, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as the supreme personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yajna, but you should know that all these demigods are but parts and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in this great sacrifice?
Now, Lord Brahma, he hurriedly approached there and he forbade the priest to put the oblation, saying that you cannot kill Indra in this sacrifice. Why? Because the first thing is, it is not your duty. Very important thing. One should know what is one's duty. Right. Second is, you should know that Indra is as good as Bhagavan Indra because he is extremely powerful. Because he has a certain position. And people on a position sometimes may misbehave, but that doesn't mean that we take the action against them directly if it is not our duty. Here in this case, very awkward situation, Indra is misbehaving in so many different ways. Third, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? They said that you are trying to please the demigods in this yajna. But all the demigods are part and parcel of Indra, and Indra is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And thus, how can you perform the sacrifice by offering Indra as the oblation? And therefore, Lord Brahma, he is asking everyone to not to go ahead with this sacrifice. Text 31. Taditam paschatam mahat dharmagatikaram dvijaha indrena anudishtam rajnya karma edat vijigansata. Translation.
Translation: In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Pruthu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that in the future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So they say that Indra has already misbehaved in so many different ways. And because of his misbehavior, there are going to be so many apasampradaya and ways of the irreligion. And if you press him further, if you call him in this, and then he is going to use his power, you are going to use your power. What will happen is, if you oppose him in any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many other irreligious systems. So this is the fear Lord Brahma put forward in front of all these sages and Prithu Maharaj. Text 32. Now from 32 to 38, Lord Brahma is going to ask Maharaj Prithu, my dear Prithu, you know path of liberation, give up anger, you accept the supreme will and avoid, the next ongoing yajna, and thus avoid spread of irreligion. And Prithu Maharaj, later he agrees to make the peace. And thus Devatas are pleased and Brahmanas, they are also blessing Prithu Maharaj for this. Text 32. Prithu kirte pritho bhuyat tarhi eka unshatakratuho alam te rutave suste yat pavan moksha dharmave. Translation. So here is the solution by Brahmaji.
Let there be only 99 sacrificial performances for Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices? Purport. Lord Brahma came down to pacify King Prithu regarding his continual performance of 100 sacrifices. King Prithu was determined to perform 100 sacrifices, and King Indra took this very seriously because Indra himself was known as the performer of 100 sacrifices. Just as it is the nature of all the living entities within this material world to become envious of their competitors, King Indra, although king of the heaven, was also envious of King Prithu and therefore wanted to stop him from performing 100 sacrifices. Actually, there was great competition, and King Indra, to satisfy his senses, began to invent so many irreligious systems to obstruct King Prithu. To stop these irreligious inventions, Lord Brahma personally appeared in the sacrificial arena. As far as Maharaj Prithu was concerned, he was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it was not necessary for him to perform the prescribed Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Such ceremonies are known as karma, and there is no need for a devotee in the transcendental position to execute them. As the ideal king, however, it was King Prithu's duty to perform sacrifices. A compromise was therefore to be worked out. By the blessings of Lord Brahma, King Prithu would become more famous than King Indra. Thus, Prithu's determination to perform 100 sacrifices was indirectly fulfilled by the blessings of Lord Brahma.
Yeah. So now, Dr. Brahma says, let there be only 99 sacrificial performance for Sukirti. Eka un Shatakratu. We say that Eka un means one less than Shatakratu. So Eka un Shatakratu. We say Ekon vis, Ek un vis, right? Ekon vis. All these numbers are like this. Ekon chalis. So Ek un chalis means one less than 40, one less than 30, one less than 20. Ekon is Ekontis, Ekon chalis, right? Similarly now, Eka un Shatakratuhu, that let there be one less than 100 and you be satisfied only with 99 Ashwamedh Yagyas. You already know the path of religion. What is the use of performing so many Yagyas? Simply be satisfied. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord Brahma came down to pacify King Prithu, that be satisfied only with 99. Prithu Maharaj was determined to perform more Yagyas. Now 100 is Indra's limit. Prithu Maharaj may have performed 1000 Yagyas, right? But in this case, what is happening is, Indra is becoming envious, and because such a powerful personality is becoming envious, what is happening is introducing so many irreligious systems which are detrimental for the universal affair. Just like ordinary living entity is envious, similarly Indra is also envious. And thus he began to invent many irreligious systems, and to stop this, Lord Brahma had to personally appear. Now somebody may say, Prabhuji, is it right? Say there are two book distributors. And somebody has a record of distributing 100 books in a day. And other person, by afternoon only he distributes 99 books. He has whole day to complete. And the 100 book distributor person who is a record century, Chakratu, he comes and he is puncturing the vehicle, he is stealing the books, he is, creating so many mischievous activities, and the temple president comes and he says, Baba chhod do. Be satisfied with your score of 99 books today. The other fellow, he is also a senior devotee, but he is getting worked up. So just let go. Just be happy. You know you can distribute far more books than him. But he is creating such mischievous activities that there is problem inside the entire temple. So please let it go. Right? So at times, being right is not enough. One has to go beyond just being right. And this is being, exemplified here by Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj could have very easily said that Brahmaji, instead of teaching me this, you should teach Indra not to be envious. Let him also begin Ashwamedh Yagya. I will also continue. And he is right. Correct. That is, he is perfectly right. But Maharaj Prithu is going to give a different response. And Brahmaji said, Prithu Kuirte, Prithu Bhuya. You will be far more famous than this Indra who is just behind you, so that you do not perform the 100 sacrifices. Recently, one seminar we were discussing that no one grows up. We should know what's our tantrum is, and that's where we have to work on. What's our tantrum in our life? Indra, is, of course, in this pastime, he is revealing his own conditioned nature. But at the same time, he is making us aware also of our conditioned nature. Right? So this is Maharaj Brahmaji's instruction to Prithu Maharaj. Text 33. Naivatmane Mahendraya Roshanarhatumarhati Ubhavati Vibhadram Te Uttama Vigraham. Translation.
Lord Brahma continued, let there be good fortune to both of you, for you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is non-different from you.
So Mahendra and you, Ubhavapihi Badramte, all great fortune, good fortune unto both of you. Ubhavapiti Badramte, you and King Indra, you are Uttama Shloka Vigraham. You both are avatar of the Supreme Lord. Right? Of course, both are Jiva Tattva, both are Shaktiavish avatar, but both are avatar. And both are avatar, Shaktiavish avatar. And then there is fight between. So there is one such instance previously also happened. Lord Ram and Parshuram, there is a fight between Lord Ram and Parshuram. One is avatar and one is Shaktiavish avatar. Parshuram is Shaktiavish avatar. In Ramayana this comes. After the Shiva Dhanush is being broken at the Sita Swayamvar, Parshuram becomes very angry. And now here both Shaktiavish avatar, they are going to fight with each other. And Brahmaji says, you should not be angry with Indra because in a way he is not different than you. You know, that very famous example. When your lips are, where your tongue is bitten by your teeth, we don't break the teeth, right? Because the tongue is bleeding, we don't break the teeth. दांत भी अपने हैं, जिह्वा भी अपनी है. And therefore here, Brahmaji says, my dear Maharaj Prathu, simply forgive Indra and be satisfied with Eka Un Shatak Prathu, that performance of 99 Yajna. 634. Masmin Maharaja Krithatmakintam Nishamayam Masmadakrustamatma Yadhyayatau Daivahatam Makartum Mano Kirushtam Vishate Tamundam. Translation.
My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Purport. Sometimes the saintly or very religious person also has to meet with reversals in life. Such incidents should be taken as providential. Although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy, one should avoid counteracting such reversals. For the more we become implicated and in rectifying such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest regions of material anxiety. Lord Krishna has also advised us in this connection. We should tolerate things instead of becoming agitated. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, amazing Upadesh by Prithu Maharaj and amazing purport Srila Prabhupada by Lord Brahma and amazing purport Srila Prabhupada writes here. Line by line, every word of this translation and purport is every word of this translation. Do not be agitated and anxious, and find and not improperly executed. Providential.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, your
Guruji,
voice
not
is
audible.
not audible.
I can perform. I can perform, sir. I can perform function or sacrifice.
Haribol, Prabhuji, your voice is very low.
Some problem,
No,
Even
it's
I am also not able to hear literally anything, whatever is being read.
Yes, and now it's okay, Prabhuji. Now okay.
Is it some problem? Is this okay somewhere?
Yes, now okay, bro.
Okay, ठीक है. So this, this shloka, translation and purport, every line is very important of this shloka. So every word of this shloka in translation is very important purport. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifice have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Right. So Prithu Maharaj had great desire to please the Supreme Lord by performing yajna. He had tremendous capacity to perform so many yajnas, but he is halted at 99. And this is envy. Like I remember one cricket match where the other batsman was on 99, playing on 99. And maybe second fellow became envious of him और उसको run out कर दिया उसने बीच में. There was another match, and in that match, Sachin Tendulkar was playing at 194. And match was like, India had won the match, a test match, almost won the match. But suddenly the captain announced the innings. And he was surprised. He was just 6 runs away from, his Dvishatak. And he was very, very surprised. But why? Materially speaking, Sachin Tendulkar is so great because the response he gave at every time. Right? So here, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifice have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. Brahmaji, saying this to Maharaj Prithu. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Now, every line is so beautiful here. Manor atirushtam vishate tamondhamam. So sometimes things may happen beyond our control, and it is better to accept the things than overly analyze and try to resolve everything overly. We simply may not be of course, in this case, Prithu Maharaj was the person, he was empowered to do that. But here, situations have become such that Brahma says, my dear Maharaj, Prithu, just be satisfied by halting this yajna. In the purport Srila Prabhupada explains, sometimes the saintly or the very religious person has to meet with reversals in life. Such incidents should be taken as the providential. Although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy. Sufficient cause for being unhappy, right? Sometimes, students study so well for exam and suddenly the paper is only so horrible. Like, last year NEET ka paper. Generally, NEET exam, there will be dozens of students who will be getting 720 out of 720. Last year, physics of the NEET paper was so difficult that the overall NEET highest was at 680, right? And there are students who are physics is favorite, and people, many of the students, they will bang on 2 subjects of the 3, prepare them very thoroughly, and crack the exam. That is the general strategy people use. But what can be done? It's not in our hands. So Prabhupada says right here, although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy, one should avoid counteracting such reversals, right? For the more we become implicated by rectifying such reversals, more we enter into the darkest region of material anxiety. And therefore, material world, it is not that we have to set right everything. It may not always happen. Of course, we will try our duty. We will try our best to set right things. But material world is, a place where Parikshit Maharaj, is such a great king, such a great personality, a small mistake cursed with a death by a small, childish, foolish Brahmin boy. So, he did not, of course, it needs guidance, it needs a lot of discrimination. What is to be tolerated and what is to be, corrected. But the point here is that certain things need to be tolerated as well. Therefore, Lord Krishna advises, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu, Tatha manapamanayoho. We should tolerate things instead of becoming excessively agitated. Right. So today is a very auspicious day of Gaur Purnima. Happy Gaur Purnima to everyone. Let us try to chant more and be more absorbed in spiritual activities and take darshan in the temple. Temple timetable is changed everywhere. Be aware of that changed timetable. We will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.